Hello, and thank you for tuning in to the Laser Podcast. My name is Vasco. I'm the marketing manager here at Laser Learning, and I'm joined, as always, by my colleague and director, Vivette.
Hi, Vasco, and hello to our listeners. It's good to be back. Today's topic is slightly different to what we've covered in the past, but I think it's such an important subject to look at. So, Vasco, would you like to elaborate?
Yes, of course. So, we're now in the month of May, assuming you're listening to this around the time that we release it. And May is Maternal Mental Health Month. In recent years, as a society, we've done a great job in bettering our understanding of mental health, in terms of having empathy, recognizing some of the challenges, dangers, and also solutions in terms of offering support, having tolerance towards those who are suffering on any scale, and so on. Now, in the past, we've explored different demographics that might be more vulnerable to mental health struggles. For example, adolescents who are living in a world full of increasing stress placed upon them. But I feel that maternal mental health is sometimes overlooked.
Oh, most definitely. We are aware that within our audience there will be young mothers or pregnant mothers-to-be who are undergoing significant stress in many forms, as well as those who have already experienced this years ago and perhaps felt alone or misunderstood at the time, maybe feeling guilty for not being able to be really happy and bubbly after the arrival of their new baby. We need also to be aware that women who are not coping well emotionally and mentally at this time may have family and friends around them who are struggling too, or very worried about them, so they too are affected.
Yes, and let's not forget about the children themselves, as well as any older siblings. This podcast is very much about sharing, not just knowledge or academia, but also empathy, support, and reassurance through an open and transparent format that can help anyone suffering feel like they are not alone. And there are many ways to cope with mental health challenges.
Without question. And when we talk about our sector as being the education sector, we need to look just beyond academic intelligence and also recognise the importance of developing our emotional intelligence with traits such as empathy and compassion. Vasco, did you have some statistics to hand to put things into context?
Yes, I recently found out that in many countries, as many as 1 in 5 new mothers experience some type of perinatal mood and anxiety disorder. These illnesses frequently go unnoticed and untreated, at times with tragic and long-term consequences to mothers, children, and fathers alike. Anything from stressful events around the time of birth, to sleep deprivation, isolation, absence of support from family or friends, or a multitude of other issues could bring this on.
As a mum of 3 and grandmother of 5 myself, I had high days and very low days following the arrival of what were very much wanted children. It seems unexplainable why you're not just so very happy all the time. This is new life and what you wanted, and yet at times you could just get that sinking, oh so low feeling. I want to stress once again to anyone listening who has experienced this or knows someone who is, just know that you're not alone. This is really very common. Often young parents look at older parents like myself and think, how can you know how I feel? Things would have been different for you when you had your baby. And yes, they were different in many ways. But the feelings are, I think, predominantly the same. You can be fearful, lacking confidence, completely worn out in a way that you did not feel possible, overcome with emotions for no apparent reason. I think most, if not all, mums have been there. Some, however, like me, are fortunate enough to have only had a brush with this feeling instead of being overcome by it. The proverb, a problem shared is a problem halved, is so true. You need someone to listen to your feelings without judgment or comparison. And not just in the month of May when this subject has been given the spotlight, but year-round.
Indeed, that could be people within your own household, a friend or colleague who you have a close bond with, or even through one of the many charities and voluntary telephone or web chat helpline services such as anxietyuk.org.uk, thecalmzone.net, samaritans.org.uk, and many others that can be found on NHS websites.
Those are great resources for sure. Another important point to mention is that perinatal mood or anxiety disorder affects women of every culture, age, income level and race. So again, it's important to understand there are hundreds of thousands, even millions of people just like you going through this. So you're not different, not odd, and have nothing to feel embarrassed, ashamed or guilty about.
Absolutely, and there are effective and well-researched treatment options to help you recover. Calling on social support, as mentioned earlier, is definitely one of them. We have to normalise and destigmatise the topic, as pregnant and postpartum women are bombarded with society's messages about how they should think and feel, from TV adverts to unsolicited comments from strangers, or even their own mother reminiscing about how great they felt. Vivette, are there any other tips you can think of?
Well, yes, a big one, I think, is prioritising sleep and rest and starting mild or moderate exercise as soon as possible, if you're able to do so and your GP confirms it's okay, of course. It also goes without saying that avoiding intoxicating substances like alcohol, etc. is crucial because they would only make the problem worse. It's important to remember when a new baby arrives that you are important too. At times, the hardest thing is to let people help you. Not just holding the baby, doing the nice stuff, but with cleaning the house, bringing a home-cooked ready meal round, walking the dog even. You need good nutrition, lots of fluids, and as much rest as possible to be the best you can be, and then a good listening ear.
That's great advice. I think we can wrap up the episode here. I know we live in a busy world and time is a precious commodity, but we genuinely hope this episode has been helpful and reassuring to a few of you. And please do share it, as it could make a world of difference to someone struggling with maternal mental health issues. Vivette, any closing words from yourself or anything you want to add?
I think we've touched on some key areas, but as always, please do drop us an email on info@lasersys.co.uk. That's spelled laser SYS. If you want us to go deeper into this topic or any other topic for that matter. And please know that things are changing. People are beginning to be open about the fact that they have issues and others about the fact that they care and want to be able to help.
Thanks, Vivette, and thank you again to our listeners for your continued support.